Yes, so my role in this project is not the designing architect, but I had done the building history survey for the town hall, and as mentioned, now I have prepared articles to gather up a doctoral thesis on this building. So so I'm showing work by some other architects, not by myself, but being strongly involved in guiding this. So town hall is located in central Finland. There was an empty island in the beginning of the 20th century, which was bought by Mr. Parviainen, who established their saw and plywood factory. So everything built there was because of the factory, and that's the context of the building as well. This is Aalto's writing from the 1920s, when he explained about his inspiration on these Italian hilltop towns or rising towns, and that kind of references had been seen in this project, and there is also a sketch by Alvar Aalto from the time when he started to design things for Säynätsalo, that is in San Gimignano in Italy. But the building is much more low-tech than the one which Tapani discussed. We are speaking of the years right after the Second World War, and small community, they were really worrying that would it become too expensive or something too grandiose. So it was really modest project in many ways, and rather small one as well. But about the branches Tapani mentioned, there is a similar one. That tree doesn't exist there, never existed. There is a branch that someone kept there, so they have kept the controlling the photographs as Tapani explained. So it's the same thing here, and said that Aalto was not very happy with the appearance of the stairs, but I don't know if it's true or false, but anyway, they kept the branch there to take the photo. The project happens to be in a very interesting moment in Alvar Aalto's life and career also. The office became much bigger after the Second World War. There were lots of opportunities, not only in Finland, but also in the larger amount also abroad. And I know Aalto had just passed away, and in the same autumn, Elsa Mäkiniemi, later Elissa Aalto, started in the office, and Annikki Hirvelä, who was working in the office at the time, she was personal friend to Elissa, and she recalled that this project was a honeymoon project for Alvar Aalto and Elissa. So it's an important building that way, and it was meant to become, well, one more thing about the previous one is that you may wonder why there is almost 9 months between the construction ending and then the inauguration ceremony. It's because of the conflicts in the community, because they couldn't decide whether the inauguration would be for the construction workers or for like whatsoever architects or other important rich people. So it took them almost a year to decide what they would get there and give there and provide to the. This is a cross section of the building. The library is located on the right hand side, originally only on the upper floor, and on the lower floor there were shops. Aalto had explained in those texts that the vulgarity of the shops is kept in the lower level, and then the community offices and library and things would be up there. And the idea was also, when the building was completed, that it would later be only a town hall, but in the beginning there were apartments and, as I said, shops and the library and everything, but the community activities never became that big that they could have built another library instead, and this is still the library. Aalto started the project with the community already during the wartime. He was invited by Hilmer Brommels to design city plan and overall appearance, new appearance for the community. And do we get anything? No. Okay. Well, never mind. This is very interesting in that way. Also, this drawing, that there was the major project which Aalto had thought to be at the top of the hill. There is a sports field and fortress-like appearance to the buildings around there. That would have been a sports and community cultural center there, and then triangular square there in the lower part, just above the factory area is the civic center in a way, and which button would have been?
You just have
okay, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so there would have been the original. No, there would have been the original place for the city hall. It says there Kunnantalo. But then, when the plan was finally acquired from the community, it was moved to the other side of the square around there, and the square also became much more interesting in a appearance. And only sketch, like a perspective sketch which we have is this one from 1946, and then Aalto explains what this community center would be, and there would be like a kind of something between a garden and a forest, which is, I think, quite interesting there, since it's community which is totally dependent on the forest industry, and they would have a forest as a center there. And when the town hall location moved, it's actually even more interesting in a way, because it's kind of the focal points of the community, being the factory and then the civic offices. It's like a going through this kind of semi forest or semi park or something like that. So, but then there was competition, architectural competition, invited competition for three architects. It's quite strange how it became like that. We don't really exactly know it, because some of the papers are missing from the community archives. But first they had sent a letter to Alvar that he would start to design the city hall, and then or town hall, and just 3 weeks later they wrote him that they stop it. We don't want according to the how you say, like the brief, that what kind of rooms and things would be there. So they, no, it's far too big, we will stop it. And then there was the competition, and Aalto was invited, and these are from his competition entry, and I think it's also quite interesting there, just in front of the building, there is this Raatihuoneen tori, Rathouse Square or something like that. I don't know what that would be, but anyway, the idea that to bring the identity to the community in this building. And then also these other buildings, there is this Itikka commercial building there, which would have been a shop and then bus stop, and then also there was a sketch by Aalto for the buildings that would be on the left hand west side of the square. So Aalto thought that he would build the whole community, but after all, it only became this building. This is also quite interesting there with in front of the town hall, this market square, which is like there are buses are going around, and then there are trees in the middle, and maybe people also like going back and forth, and it would be like maybe like a medieval town or something like that. So originally there were the shops, the lower level, and the upper level is the library. It's also interesting how the library opens up towards the park and city or village center, and then behind that would be the factory there. I will now concentrate a bit more on the library. There are some changes and some other research done in the building, like roof detail that was designed in 1994, still following the original design, which was very carefully studied by Peter Eisenman in his doctoral thesis called "The Formal Basis of Modern Architecture," which is quite interestingly the first academic study on this building at the time when the building was only a bit more than 10 years of age. But for some reason, this is like quite contemporary photo. They left out this they left out this two material combination there, which was also part of the poor community. They couldn't afford or couldn't get copper enough at the time when it was built, and copper was too expensive material or difficult to get at the time. So there's quite interesting detail how it would be only the lower part would be copper, and then it would be galvanized steel above there. And as we know, it becomes a battery in a way that the steel would get rusted there. So there was really particular detail to avoid that there. And in my thinking, it's a bit sad that they had left out this detail in the roof construction, regardless the design that was done at the time. After the building history survey, I was invited to do the study for the library furniture, and it was quite nice because the project or library is such a small one. It's probably the smallest public library by Aalto at least, and I was able to do it so that I studied every single chair which they had there, and what was that time and when it came into the building, and at that time we noticed that from the children section, I don't really know how it works, but where is this arrow already is. There are bookshelves which were later ones from the 1980s, and the original ones were kept in the basement at the time. So that's the appearance at that time, and the original bookshelves which were used in the storage room there were recognized that okay, we could maybe remove these quite nice shelves from the 80s and return the old ones from the basement back. Also during the building history survey, it was great to find from one how you say, like a technical room. There was a small plastic bag which had these original wooden tags where you put the category of the book, and then we just for fun the librarian then when I returned next time there, they had put there like all the Alvar books there, or all the books there, and there are much more than that, because Jyväskylä city, which now is, well, Säynätsalo had merged to Jyväskylä, which is bigger area, and so they have put as good Aalto book collection that they have is now located there, and they have hundreds and hundreds of books on Alvar Aalto in that small library there. So it had become much more full nowadays, this Alvar Aalto section. It's quite great to find those small details from the basement and realize that okay, they are the original ones. But the actual design for the library alteration was designed by Tomi Jänkälä, colleague from Jyväskylä-based architecture office. And last major intervention in the library was in 1998, when they had it was Alvar Aalto's centenary, and for that they brought back some details. I mean, reconstructed some of the furniture that had been lost over the time, and at that time also the lower part was rebuilt, but the stairs on between there, the two layers, they were already done in the 1980s, at the time when the shops were added to the library, and that was very good thing for preservation, thinking that there was no Aalto design in the shops, and nothing there was kind of left from the early years. So it was kind of nice as well that we could give, in preservation means, quite good flexibility to work on the lower floor, and they then decided to remove one room from there, and that's the reason why the timber floor had been partly redone there. And also the librarian's desk, they wanted to improve its well, all those machines that are needed, and now they can also kind of raise and lower it according to the librarian's wishes, and then some of the lamps are from the 1990s, and some of the reading lamps are original from the upper level. So this ground floor is kind of combination of layers, much more than the upper part, and personally I wouldn't have wanted those armchairs there, because they are Aalto design from the 1930s, and in this building in the 50s maybe there could have been something else, but well, it's only furniture, and it's nice that it's fully functional library. The upstairs, it's much more strict in a way. Originally it was much more open. Tapani didn't explain us the Seinäjoki library, but it had the same phenomenon there, other famous library by Aalto, where they had added new bookshelves to any part that they could have done, and it was the same here, that it had lost its openness, and Tomi, the designing architect, he was quite upset about the lamps as well, which are those like those which are attached to the top of the bookshelves that he thought that they would be quite horrible ones. The other ones, they are the two bulb lamps. They are later ones from the 1990s. Yes, 1990s renovation, but they are Aalto designed lamps there, and they were of course kept, because nowadays we want much more light into the library, and also couldn't get all the extra bookshelves away from there. In the 1980s, they have built some ones which are quite close to the original detailing. So 2 of those were still kept there, but they got this more open space here, and more books were put then in the downstairs. And also the uses in library, they have changed over the years in that way that they want to get some kind of events in there, and so now those tables can be easily moved away, but they are new tables now, the green ones. Originally there were several colors on the tables. We don't exactly know which colors they were because there are only very few tables left, but this which you can fully see there, that was also original library children's sector table, which was found in the basement, and it was very beautifully conserved by a colleague. So it's and then these are now the bookshelves that were taken from the storage and put back to their very original positions, and then the new podests were done, the white ones, because they were not found anywhere. But this is one of those quite rare occasions that the original pieces of interior, when they have been taken away and put somewhere in the basement or somewhere, and they are not ending up to the garbage bin or auction nowadays, but they return to their original places, and it's of course really great in the way that 70-year-old pieces can still get back here. Some minor things which well, but to sum up this last rather small intervention is that we got it upstairs much more open, getting much closer to what it was originally, also maybe in use in a way. Then the additional lightings were done quite sympathetically, following the original ones. Some little bit bad things I'm claiming myself. I didn't start to discuss about color analysis early enough, and they just decided that okay, we will paint them in the same colors than what it was done in the previous time. But okay, that can be done then in 10 years when there will be the next paint layer will be done. So nothing of the information is lost. It's still there, but my guess would be that it would be much more cream tone and than the one which is used nowadays. And it's quite interesting then, according to the color studies that had been done in the other buildings, that still at the time when they were using these plastic mixed paints in the 1970s buildings, we have found with the microscope studies that there are yellow particles in there. So they have wanted the plastic paints to get this kind of more traditional appearance in color. So it's not, first we have thought that they were maybe it's just because of smoking or something, the yellow in those plastic paints, but no, there were really yellow particles in there. And then they wanted to have those really cold light bulbs there to allow better reading conditions to the people in there. But anyway, it was nice, small, very low-tech project, and also the building is very low-tech compared to the previous Aalto building which we saw, and of course it has to do with the moment when the building was built, and then also the client wanted something really modest at the time after the wartime. Aalto didn't write that much in his later years, but there is quite a nice text written by Göran Schild, who was Alvar Aalto's personal friend and wrote several books on Aalto. But already in 1962 there was an exhibition catalog for the exhibition that was in Central Museum of Central Finland in Jyväskylä, and there Göran Schild explains this Alvar Aalto's alternative modernism. That's like rough translation on the title of the article, and there he explains that the Aalto's thinking includes this kind of combining the site, and the entrance to the site is part of the entering the building in a way, and then each individual user is important according to Göran Schild in Aalto's architecture, and then this kind of humane or humane goal is important, and advanced technology may be used, but in a way that it's part of the architecture, but it's in a way that you don't really see it, and it's hidden in there, and actually quite a few of these ideas that Göran Schild wrote already some 60 years back are part of the UNESCO World Heritage outstanding universal value that was proposed in the nomination dossier that was handed in for the evaluation this January. So next June we will hear, or next July actually, we will hear what will happen with that World Heritage nomination, and this Säynätsalo Town Hall is one of those 13 buildings which are, or sites which are included. This building became, regardless, the community probably didn't want it to be so prestigious, but it became important already and well known already in the beginning. Alvar Aalto was very keen to promote his buildings already starting in the 1930s. He was good friends with several architects and architecture press publishing persons all over in Europe, and one of the earliest and actually one of the most important or interesting review of the building is in Byggekunst from Norway. Arne Korsmo wrote it, and it's interesting in that way that it's the only one which I had found that is not repeating the same text that was provided by Alvar Aalto. So there he explains the building when he, according to interview with Aalto, but then at the end he admits that he actually didn't visit the building when writing the review. So so Aalto probably controlled quite well Korsmo's ideas, but Korsmo is the first one who had written down the Mediterranean references to this building, and I have a plan that maybe someday I will study a bit more about the idea how Alvar Aalto is postmodern before the time, or before postmodernism even existed, because there are so many features in that way. The right-hand side is from Florence, one of the monasteries there, and the left-hand side is from the town hall, and it's also quite intriguing in these very small details in the building, how Aalto changed the laying of the bricks according to the use of the building building in various parts. So the most like the dominant part is different laying than the housing and office part would be. So Aalto gives kind of these small, quite traditional ways to give some hints and some hierarchies to the building, which is quite fascinating in a way, because every time we visit them, can find something new even in such a small building. So as I explained, it was published quite widely already when it was completed, and in 1957 the council chamber was in the top of the Suomen rakennustaidetta book, like a book which explains the Finnish architecture in general. So it was a kind of masterpiece already starting in the beginning, but it has become much more today. Of course, we don't need to take this that seriously, but I think it's quite interesting that it's cutting a bit of that. But the first book from 2007, it's 1001 buildings you must see before you die, and then 2015 it was in 2 books, 100 buildings from the 20th century, and then architecture, a history in 100 buildings. So there were 2. Then in that time it had become to top 100 buildings in the whole world. And then according to New York Times some 5 years back, it's among the 25 most significant buildings in the whole world after the Second World War. And I think it's quite interesting in a way, like a bit what was discussed after Tapani's presentation, but like the community, they didn't want anything else than just an ordinary building, and then it becomes something like that. And nowadays, of course, it's a symbol for the whole community. But originally, actually, the people, they were, of course, it's all over. They were not that happy about the building. But then when there were a group of architects from the Soviet Union who came there, and they praised the building a lot, so the community, some of the community members also started to think that maybe it's a good building after all. But of course, these lists are quite well, not to be taken seriously, but like in a way that regardless the possibilities that the architect is given, he may build the tallest building in the world or something, but that kind of a value for a modest building, it can't be both in a way, but it comes after the time span, and I think it's very intriguing in a way. I don't know if I was too fast or too slow or anything. You didn't interrupt me yet, but I will leave some time for the discussion, and I will stop with this or finish with this first color image I have been so far able to find of the building. It's taken by Pierre Heffelfinger, who was one of the Swiss architects working in Alvar Aalto's office over the years, and of course it's something to be remembered. Tapani also named some persons who had been working in the office, but there were 300 architects and other staff members working in the office over the years, and if I remember correctly, they came from every continent of the world. Well, of course not South Pole, because no one is from there, but from any other continent. So it's quite fascinating narrative also. But that would be another story. So thank you.